But good evening. So I was going to start off with the case. So the case is Master Ma is feeling out of sorts. So great Master Ma was feeling out of sorts. The temple administrator asked, "Teacher, how have things been going with you recently?" The great master said, "Sun-faced Buddha, moon-faced Buddha." The verse, sun-faced Buddha, moon-faced Buddha. What kind of people were the ancient emperors? For 20 years, I have suffered bitterly. How many times have I gone down into the blue dragon's cave for you? This distress is worth recounting. Clear-eyed Zenists should not take it lightly. So first, a couple of notes. Some of you may have heard of this case. Usually it's translated as Master Ma is unwell or Master Ma is ill. But the original is actually Ma Da Shi Bu An, which Bu An means unsettled or troubled, kind of uneasy, restless, worried, disturbed, not at peace. So the Bu-an, the an is the same an as in Ango. I think you're having an Ango entry later this week. And the an in Ango is peaceful dwelling. So Bu-an is not at peace, not peaceful, so kind of out of sorts. And the other thing I mentioned is the sun-faced Buddha, moon-faced Buddha. So apparently there's something called the Buddha name scripture, which I guess is kind of like a Peterson's field guide to the Buddhas. It kind of tells you what the different Buddhas are. And it says that the moon-faced Buddha enters extinction after 1 day and night. Whereas a sun-faced Buddha lives in the world for 657,450 days and nights. So that's 1,800 years. So what we've got is only a single day or over 1,000 years. Sun-faced Buddha, moon-faced Buddha. So that said, so in the case we hear that Master Ma was feeling out of sorts. And I don't know about you, but recently I've been feeling out of sorts, disturbed, uneasy. Maybe I'm not alone. Earlier in the summer, it seems like we were getting a handle on COVID. I mean, for vaccinated people at least. We're taking off masks, meeting in person, starting to think about, going to movies or concerts, or, having in-person session or meeting at the Zen Center. Also, I'm an intensive care unit doctor. And I noticed, we hadn't any new COVID patients for weeks. And the hospital was able to lift restrictions on visitors. People switched from wearing the N95 masks continuously to its regular masks and stopped with the face shields. I mean, I didn't, but they weren't required anymore. So all in all, things were starting to look pretty good. That was June. But then the Delta variant came along. COVID cases, especially in unvaccinated areas, surged. Then we found out that even vaccinated people were getting infected. Patients started rolling back into my ICU, struggling to breathe, oxygen levels dangerously low. Masks were back, plans were canceled. My Zen center stopped in-person gatherings. I can tell you I was not at peace. Bu'an, for sure. I mean, I thought this was over, I thought we turned the corner, but there we were still dealing with it. And I found myself asking, how long will I need to do this? How long will I need to wear masks? How long will we be intubating COVID patients? I mean, it's been 18 months already. So just how long? And the answer is however long it needs to be. That's how long I'll do it. That's how long all of us will be doing it. I mean, it's like asking a parent with a newborn baby, well, just how long are you going to be changing diapers? I don't know. However long I have to. I mean, you can't pin it down. I mean, it's not any longer than I have to, for sure, but other than that, it's open-ended because there's a commitment. Ideally, parents are dedicated to taking care of their children. Ideally, parents are dedicated to taking care of their doctors are dedicated to taking care of their patients. Teachers like Master Ma are dedicated to their students, 20 years going down in the cave. I mean, we chant, sentient beings are numberless, I vow to save them. Well, that's a pretty big job, right? What I'm saying is when we make a total commitment, when we really dedicate ourselves to something, then it doesn't matter if it's for long or for short. We intend to see it through all the way. It's like in the Sandokai, the poem by Sekito Kisen, there's the line, when you walk the way, it is not near, it is not far. Again, it's about the walking of the way. It's like the cliche, it's the journey, not the destination. So it doesn't really matter if it's near or far. What matters is that we keep on walking. Yes. Zen Master Sung San has a saying, only go straight, maybe 10,000 years. So regardless of whether it's long or short, near or far, if I'm dedicated, then I stick with it. But then the question arises, well, just what deserves this kind of dedication? This level of commitment to see it through no matter what? So thinking about this question reminded me of the story in Dogen's Instructions to the Cook. It's the one where, well, I'll read it. When this mountain monk, Dogen, was at Tiantong Monastery, the position of Tenzo was held by Cook Yang of the same province. Once, after the midday meal, I was passing through the East Corridor on my way to the Chowran room when I saw the cook in front of the Buddha hall, airing mushrooms. He carried a bamboo staff in his hand, but had no hat on his head. The sun was hot. The ground tiles were hot, and sweat streamed over him as he worked diligently to dry the mushrooms. He was suffering a bit. With his backbone bent like a bow and his shaggy eyebrows, he resembled a crane. I approached and asked the cook his Dharma age. He said, 68 years. I said, why do you not employ postulants or laborers? He said, they are not me. I said, Venerable Sir, your attitude is indeed proper, but the sun is so hot. Why are you doing this now? The cook said, what time should I wait for? So why not let somebody else do it? Because they are not me. Why do it now? What time am I supposed to wait for? On one level, this is a pretty straightforward story. You know, the mushrooms are right here. Nobody else but me is right here now. So I'm the one who's got to do it. And the job is drying mushrooms. So of course I have to do it now in the sun. You know, what do you want me to do? Wait until after dark when it's cool? You know, so on one level, it's a story about a Tenzo who's dedicated to his job as a cook. But on another level, this story speaks to me personally as being about life, living this life, my life, and really appreciating it because it's mine and ours. So if I'm called to be dedicated to fully living this life, then it falls on me to do it. It falls on me to commit myself to it because nobody else can do it for me. Nobody else can live my life. Like the old cook said, they are not me. And I'd say it's really important to remember that this me is this me, not some future me. It's never any other me, but this one right now. It's not after I get something that I don't already have. What I have right now is exactly what I need. It's not after I, become enlightened, or after I get the new job, or after I quit smoking, or after I quit drinking, or whatever. I mean, it can't be postponed. I can't ask for an extension or, take an incomplete on it and, make it up over the summer. It has to be right now. It can't be any other time because there is no other time. What time should I wait for? After my life is over? The sun is shining now, so dry the mushrooms now. Life is happening right now. So I need to appreciate life and living now. That's what I think I need to commit myself to doing. And sometimes it can be hard. COVID makes it hard. Dealing with other people can make it hard. I think most of all, dealing with myself makes it hard. I make it hard for myself, especially when I set up, lots of beliefs about how things ought to be. Some way that's different than what actually is. And then I get depressed, or I get discouraged or angry. And, I imagine that, well, first I need to make reality match my opinions about how the world ought to be. And then once that's done, then I can start living my life. I can conjure up all sorts of justifications for putting things off, for procrastinating. You know, well, Mars is in retrograde right now, so I probably ought to wait, until things turn around, and then I'll get on. But this is my life, just as it is, like it or not. So I need to get on with it, despite any so-called difficulties, whether external or internal. Whether I feel like it's going easy for me or I feel like it's going hard. I gotta keep on keeping on. In those times when I mess up, like I often do, every time I fall down, I need to pick myself up, dust myself off, and get back at it. Keep on walking the way, neither near nor far, long or short. Just keep going straight, maybe 10,000 years. Sun-faced Buddha, moon-faced Buddha. Energizer Bunny Buddha. Remember, just keeps going and going and going. So it comes down to appreciating this life, whether I'm ill or feeling unwell or feeling out of sorts, Bu'an, or if I'm feeling ecstatic, if I'm on top of the world, like the ancient emperors from the verse. That line comes from another poem. That poem goes, clothed in brocades and fine embroidery, with falcons on their wrists, they go about at leisure, their manners scornful. They know nothing of the difficulties of sowing and harvesting. What kind of people were the ancient emperors? So when I'm feeling like life is easy and I'm riding high, like an ancient emperor, I can't just leave it to the little people, the postulants and laborers. Can't leave it to them to take care of difficult things that need taken care of. So from the examples, it would be, drying mushrooms in the sun or sowing and harvesting. Or from our life today, it could be, working on climate change or undoing institutionalized racism or social justice, or just cleaning up after myself in the messes that I make going through life. I'm responsible for this life that I share with you and everyone and everything. So I need to keep on going. I need to keep showing up because there is no other I besides this one here, this one now. It's my responsibility. So ultimately, what I think we're being called to dedicate ourselves to is appreciating life, this life, our life, the same life of the Buddhas and the ancestors. And it's up to us now how we value it.